Hi everyone, and welcome to the Master Black Belts who are going to present today, and welcome the chief guest of today's function, Ms. Usha Rani. So I will very briefly introduce Ms. Usha Rani first. Ms. Usha Rani is, as you can see on the screen, is currently faculty at Prasanna School of Public Health, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal, India. And she obtained her post-graduation in hospital administration, published more than 10 peer-reviewed scholarly publications in impact journals, and has done many projects related to quality improvement in healthcare sector. She is currently secretary to Academy of Hospital Administration, Mangalore, Manipal chapter in India. She is also recipient of Yufong Asian Health Literacy Award 2018 by Asia Health Literacy Association. Welcome, Ms. Usha Rani, and it is a pleasure to have you here. And I remember meeting you over the last 4 to 5 years, and your enthusiasm about quality and the way you have taken the quality forward, especially for the postgraduate students, the hospital management students, and by our Master Black Belts. Incidentally, all the Master Black Belts are from Saudi Arabia this time. So that I wanted to have, you can unmute yourself, Ms. Usha. So yeah, so in fact, the reason we always choose, if we are having presentations from Indian Master Black Belts or Black Belts, we always choose a person from abroad. And when we have people from somewhere outside India, then we always choose a chief guest from India. So,
that's great.
So yes. So let us start our presentation. Let us please. I think I'll hand it over to Animisha. Yeah.
All the best to all.
I would like to welcome Dr. Arun Vijay Subarayalu to address us all.
So Dr. Arun, as he's starting or sharing his screen, I will tell you that it has been a long association with Dr. Arun over the last 7 and 8 years. I conducted one training and some consulting for University of Dammam, and then I saw him, and since then he has been very enthusiastic. He has also published a lot of papers and research papers in various journals. I remember he later on told me that I had reviewed. So I was not knowing that it was he had written it. So I remember that I had reviewed some paper which he had written. So welcome, Dr. Arun. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good evening to all and all. It is nice presenting my project here for my Six Sigma Master Black Belt. This project we did in Saudi Arabia in an academic medical center. The topic of my presentation today is reducing the hospital-acquired infection rate using Six Sigma DMAC approach. So we did the project as per the 5 stages of DMAC. The idea behind the selection of this project is the occurrence of the infection in the last 2 or 3 years in the specific hospital. The retrospective data shows the hospital-acquired infection rate is 4.18 in the last 2 or 3 years. So it is decided to reduce the hospital-acquired infection rate to less than 3. As you know well, this is an infection where the patient will get during their length of stay in the hospital. It occurs usually after 2 or 3 days of admission, or it may happen after 2 or 3 days of discharge. Totally, this infection occurs due to their treatment processes. This is the idea. That's the reason we chosen this topic. It is most important in the current scenario. So the goal statement was fixed in the defined phase. So we want to reduce the infection rate from 4.18 to less than 3. That is, we are expecting less than 30% reduction, because the project is actually planned for the period of 12 months. So it may be a pilot study. Within 12 months, we want to reduce this much infection. The benefits of this project we defined in the defined phase, that is enhance patient safety, increased patient satisfaction, and improved public image. One of the shortcomings I have to point out here, the cost, how much we saved because of this cannot be calculated, because most of the hospital, especially the hospital where we did this study, is publicly funded. So that's one of the shortcomings I have to mention here. The team members are formed, all the inpatient units, because the study is constrained towards only inpatient unit. All the head of the inpatient units, nurses, infection control specialists, all are involved in this project. The scope, as I told you, it is only extend over a period of 12 months project. So in addition to that, the three key players are fixed. One is the champion, who is the principal investigator, my boss, and I am the master black belt, the co-investigator, and the process owner of all the inpatient units are controlled by the Vice Dean of Clinical Affairs. So this is the project charter we developed, we defined in the define phase of this project. After defining in the particular stage, we make a SIPOC diagram. We want to know how the infection is happening in various stages of this patient handling processes. So we define very clearly the SIPOC methodology. That means the process mapping. We did the suppliers who are the source to give infection. Maybe it may be from the physician, nurses, other healthcare professionals. It may be visitors or attendants. So they are the suppliers. They might be as suppliers. An input, again, it is physician, nurses. The infection may come through materials and medicines. So this is the input. And the process is the whole process, patient handling process. That is starting from admission, examination, diagnosis, treatment, and discharge. It may happen at any of these stages. That is the process. The output, what is the output of this particular project is, we want the healthy patient to discharge without any infection. As a result, what will happen? The patient satisfaction will get increased. That means enhanced. So the customers here in this project, we mentioned patient, healthcare workers. Not only patient get affected, healthcare workers, families, and the relative. These are the customers of this particular topic. That means the SIPOC is defined very clearly in the define phase. In the measure phase, that is the second quarter of the study. As I told you, the study extends over a period of 12 months. The second quarter is the measure phase. We actually measure what is happening with regard to hospital acquired infection in the particular hospital setting. So we try to develop the process sigma. We measure the data, and we actually calculated the process sigma. It's very clearly mentioned here, the opportunities and the defect. All the patients, those who are serviced in the particular hospital during the period of the first 3 months, have the opportunity to get the infection. So the opportunity we define all people, those who are treated in the hospital, and those patients prone to infection is the actual defect. So the data clearly shows there are 3,297 opportunities. The defect is 13. Based on that, we calculated the process sigma, long-term process sigma 4.16. This is the measure phase clearly showing. From the measure phase, we come to the analysis phase. We want to analyze how the infection occurs. We use a root cause analysis of each and every case reported with the infection. The root cause analysis done by using a check sheet, we get a potential causes, how the infection occur with regard to all the patients suspected or diagnosed to be an infected patient. So based on that, we have a set of potential causes. We use root cause analysis, then we use the cause and effect diagram by separating the causes into 4 categories. Whether the infection due to personnel, that means the employees, or it may be due to material, environmental influence, or process. We clearly segregated into 4 components. Based on that, which is most influencing the infection, we use a Pareto chart. In the Pareto chart, you can see very clearly 60% of the infected patient, that means the cases reported to have infection during the period, is due to personnel causes. That means if I want to improve my project, I have to focus first on the personal factors which is prone the patient to get infection. That is the Pareto chart. Then come to the improve phase. The improve phase, again, the third quarter. That is the third quarter of the study is the improve phase. In the improve phase, based on the things what we observed in the measure phase, actually the improvement strategies are formed. We form an improvement strategy very clearly. 3 kinds of strategies we focus. One is the real improvement strategy, what we want to implement in the hospital. Sometimes the policy related initiative need to be done, that we focus. Third one is training to the employee. This is the most important crucial element. The healthcare employees need to be trained how to get rid of the infection. Some of the important issues I want to highlight here, the hand hygiene complaint we improve, protective use of the equipment. That means the personal protective equipment we improve. Then the biomedical waste management, we give knowledge to the people, enhance their knowledge. Then all these issues, some policy related issues, something the policy procedures are developed, how to handle the patient properly. All these things are made in the improve phase during the third quarter of the study period. At the end of the third quarter, that is the improve phase, third quarter, we really measured whether we achieved improvement or not. We compared the first quarter with the third quarter. What happened at the end of the third quarter? The infection rate reduced from 3.92 to 2.73. As expected, it is more than 30% reduction. We want to find out whether it is significantly improving. Yes, we applied a t-test. The t-test clearly shows, the p-value clearly shows there is a significant improvement happened with regard to the infection reduction what we got in the improve phase. Then the last phase is our control phase. We want to maintain what the improvement we got. We made a control plan. The control plan was made to execute the project. We want to sustain the improvement in future. So we made a control plan. Based on that, the multidisciplinary team was developed to make an audit check of the hand hygiene complaint, proper utility. We measured, at the end of the control phase, we measured 85% of the employees are following the adherence rate towards the hand hygiene complaint. Then we make a U-chart to find out whether the process under control. Yes, we got a result. The process is very well under the control. So within the 12 months period, we achieved more than 30% reduction in hospital-acquired infection rate by implementing this DMAC methodology. This is a sample of 12 months. We are continuing to take this actual lesson learned from this project to further sustain the improvement. This is our project. Thank you very much.
Very well done, Dr. Arun, and it's a pleasure, to see. And today, the situation is, we know healthcare, how it is important, how much it is important. And if you are doing some projects to reduce the infection rates,
yes, sir.
Now what else we can ask for? So thanks a lot. You're not only, of course, proving yourself to be a very good Master Black Belt, but also you're proving yourself to be very, very, I would say, beneficial to the society. And this is how, you're talking about how Lean and Six Sigma can be helpful to the society in general. So really, really very good. We will have some more discussions a little later once I, once I talk about, I think once we have all the Master Black Belts finished their presentations, then we will discuss a little bit more. And yes, I'll hand it over to Animisha now.
I would now like to welcome Dr. Raji to address us.
Good afternoon, one and all. I'm audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to present on reducing the hospital-acquired infection rate in intensive care unit. CTQ formulated as hospital-acquired infections such as ventilator-associated pneumonia, urinary tract infection, central line catheter infection, intravenous catheter infection, surgical site infection in the intensive care unit. So define phase. So the ICU is a place where the invasive procedures and equipments used for treating the patients. Most of the patients are likely to get hospital-acquired infection due to the invasive procedure. The rate of infection for the month was 27 cases for every 1,000 cases. Hospital-acquired infections leads to increase in number of stay and cost. Therefore, hospital-acquired infection has been reduced. So the problem statement formulated as reducing the hospital-acquired infection rate from 27 for 1,000 cases to 10 for 1,000 cases. So it is to control the present level of 27 for 1,000 cases to 10 for 1,000 cases. So the process used incidence of hospital-acquired infections to be reduced. Source of data, secondary data extracted from the hospital records. CTQ reducing the number of hospital-acquired infection in intensive care unit. unit of measurement, numerical count of infected patients. Data point, 1,859 patients. Specification, reduce the infection rate from 2.7% to 1%. So the analysis phase, tools used for identifying the infection was box plot and the ANOVA to identify which is the leading infection among all hospital acquired infection. A logistic regression is used to identify which factor causing the ventilator associated pneumonia in patient on ventilator. Total number of X factors found was hand washing technique, personal protective equipment, solution used for loosening the secretion, reuse of suction catheter, suctioning technique such as oral and nasal and aseptic technique. Among all this, the significant X factor found was personal protective equipment and suctioning technique. A result phase, a box plot and ANOVA revealed ventilator associated pneumonia as a leading hospital acquired infection. And binary logistic regressions revealed that infections rate will be reduced by 8 times when personal protective equipment is 1, than when the personal protective equipment is not 1 by the person who is giving ventilator care. So the infections rate will be increased by 2.5 times when proper suctioning technique is not followed than when the proper suctioning technique is followed. So improve phase, the protective equipment is 1 in the intensive care unit. While providing care to a patient on ventilator, the infections rate will get reduced by 8%. The suction technique is followed separately for oral and nasal. The infection rate will get reduced by 2%. So in the control phase, personal protective equipments, that is, make sure that all who care for the patients in the intensive care unit must wear a personal protective equipment to prevent infection rate, and this has been checked by the infection control champion of ICU. Suction technique, staff nurse who is doing a suction should be educated that nasal and the oral suction catheter should be separate to reduce the rate of infections. So the dissemination here, like customer benefits, less suffering, fast recovery and cost effective. Corporate benefit due to fast recovery, turnover in the intensive care unit will be more. So beds can be used for many more patients. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Raji. And again, it's heartening to see we are talking about ventilators. Of course, no society wants ventilators to be so much used the way today we are using, but it goes a long way. In fact, your project goes a long way as a guidance for all the healthcare service providers that what we should be doing. In fact, they already know what we should be doing, but sometimes projects like these motivate us and all the healthcare workers to follow the guidelines more strictly, and especially when the p-values are low. Now, if you're not understanding what we are talking about, well, you can join our Lean and Six Sigma Green Belt and Black Belt sessions. We keep conducting those sessions, and we are presenting 5 of our recently graduated Master Black Belts. And here we go. The next Master Black Belt is here.
I would like to call Dr. Shiva Shankar to present his slides.
My Master Black Belt topic is reducing the waiting time for delivering the drugs in a hospital pharmacy. So we have used the DMAC methodology. So in this, in the define phase, we have used the tools like Project Charter, SIPOC, and CTQ tree. So through the Project Charter, we have known the scope that is it is being used for the reducing the pharmacy waiting time in the tertiary hospital. And the problem statement is reducing the waiting time per patient by 10% on the average within 1 month. And the goal of this project is to enhance the sigma rating from 0.2 to 4 at a maximum time taken to deliver the drugs within 300 seconds, that is 5 minutes, and reduce the waiting time within 1 minute. So expected benefits, improved quality of service and customer satisfaction. So through the CTQ tree, we have found the Y and the X factors. The Y here is the waiting time, that is time taken to deliver the drug. And X factors are the number of items in the bill and the number of staffs or the employees. So we have gone to the measure phase. So here we did the spot observation, that is from morning 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So with a 2 hours time interval, we have measured the data. So we have did the tools like normality test, eye chart, and process capability analysis. So through the normality test, we have found all the time intervals, they have followed the normality test except of the 10 to 12. So 10 to 12, they have followed only the log normal distribution. Then through the eye chart, we have found the process was stable. But in the process capability analysis, the waiting time is not observed within the specification. That shows the prolonged waiting time. And we have measured the sigma rating. That is during the 10 to 12, it was 1.7 with a 30% of ppm. And 12 to 2, it has a 1.7 sigma rating with a 39% of ppm. So during the analysis phase, so out of this 12 X factors, so we have found the 4 significant X factors, that is of 10 to 12 and of 12 to 2 with the frequency of items and the number of staffs. So here the tools used are the one-way ANOVA, scatter plot, and of a correlation. So from the one-way ANOVA, we have understood there is a difference between time taken to deliver the drugs and the time period. And through the scatter plot and the correlation, we have came to know the positive correlation was there. That is, as the number of items increased in the bill, the time taken to deliver the drugs has been increased. Then coming into improve phase, so we want to fix that significant X factors, so that we have used the tools like multiple regression and followed by the process capability analysis after the improvement. So here from the multiple regression, we came to know the number of items in the bill. If it is increases by 1 unit, then the Y will increases by 16.2 seconds on its average. So we have found the improvement actions. That is, if number of items in the bill increases, that is more than 5, then it should be dealt in the separate counter with the more number of staffs, that is 2 to 4 staffs separately. Where it is less, then it will be dealt in of a common counter. So after following this improvement actions, the waiting time was reduced, and 10 to 12, the average waiting time has been reduced from 260 seconds to over 215, and 12 to 2, it has been reduced from 276 seconds to over 239. And followed by the sigma rating was being also improved. That is from 10 to 12, it has improved from 1.7 to 2.7 with a 11% of ppm, and 12 to 2, it has been increased from 1.7 to 2.2 with a 22% of ppm. So follow this improve phase, we have the control phase in which we have tools used or the eye chart in which the process was stable, and followed by to sustain the improvement, we have introduced the control plan. So where we have checked the waiting time by every month and we have recorded in the hospital record. So benefits are the improve in the quality of service and enhance in the customer satisfaction and increase in the financial turnover. To all this, the public image of the hospital is already improved, and we can able to attain the aggregation standards also. Thank you.
So good to see that we are, in fact, as I was telling you, that healthcare is really, really important, and especially nowadays. And good to see that so many healthcare improvement projects being presented today by our Master Black Belts. So let us move on to the next presentation, and we'll talk about all the presentations together after a while.
I would now like to invite Dr. Mukul Saktivel to make his presentation.
Good evening to everyone. And today's my topic is improving the accountability of gloves usage after the process of sterilization. Coming to my define phase, as we all know, in the tertiary hospitals, for some areas to do some of the processes, we use the gloves, which can be reused. For all the purposes, we don't use disposable gloves. So my process is dealing with the area where we use reusable gloves. So about 9,300 gloves are issued from the stores to Central Sterilization and Supply Department, where these gloves are put into the autoclave machine, and they are sterilized, and again they will be used and based on the need. And every month we are using 9,300 gloves, and it is circulated to 26 departments of the hospital. Although we found some of the inventory system was there, but there is a huge gap in the accountability of the gloves. So many gloves, the number of gloves which are distributed from the store and which are autoclaved in the CSST department, and number of gloves which are utilized in the various departments of the hospital, the numbers were keep on mismatching. So this was the purpose, and this was our business case to proceed with. And each glove at that time, it cost about 11 rupees, and even 1% of the loss will lead to actually 1,023 rupees. If there is 1% of gap, if we lose 1% of the gloves, and it costs about 1,023 rupees, which is little high. And the product what we focused is gloves, and the process is distribution of sterile gloves to various departments of the hospital, around 26 departments. And the domain where we did this project is to avoid the infection and improve the reusability of gloves by the process called sterilization. And coming to the problem statement, we thought of reducing the gap in the inventory from the existing 83.62%. It is really huge, and sometimes it is unbelievable. The gap percentage is 83%, and we thought of reducing below 10% with respect to this particular issue. And coming to the goal, the existing gap, as I said, it is 83%. And when we put into sigma rating, it was in the minus and the other side. So we thought of increasing to the improving to the positive sigma rating side. That was our goal. And coming to the SIPOC and suppliers stores department, input again the number of gloves in the Central Sterilization and Supply Department, where these gloves are being autoclaved or sterilized. Coming to the process, this is sterilization and supply of the gloves to various departments. Output, delivery of sterilized gloves to the 26 departments. So the people who are working and who are using these gloves from these 26 departments are the customers, means they are like internal customers of the hospital. This is my CTQ tree, where we can see all the full picture of the process and also the why. The why is lost due to missing gloves. So some of the gloves are not in the account, the unaccountability or the loss. This is our why, and there are 4 different sizes of gloves: 6 inch, 6.5 inch, 7 inch, and 7.5 inch. And as I said, it was distributed to 26 departments. And coming to the measure phase, we considered 30 days. We considered all the flow of gloves from the stores department and from the sterilization department to all 26 departments. We followed 30 days of process. And why is a gap in the inventory accountability. And unit of measurement is numerical count. This is discrete data. And data point size, 9,300 gloves that were consumed by the sterilization department and distributed to 25 to 26 departments of the hospital. And specification I mentioned earlier, we thought of reducing below 10% from 83% of gap. And coming to the analyze phase, here the X factors, we have 104 X factors. That is, we just added all the 26 departments in 4 different sizes. So we just multiplied and got 104 X factors and significant X factors. There were 6 significant X factors, that is 3 different size of gloves and 2 different departments, 6th floor and labor room. When we measure the data, and we were able to rule out that these 2 departments are the main area where the glouses are missed or the accountability is not in a right way. And these 3 glouses out of 4 different sizes, 6.5, 7 and 7.5, these 3 glouses were under problem. So the results, gap ratio was 0.84 and 0.79, 0.84 and 0.86 respectively for these 3 different sizes. And when we did chi-square test, we were able to see the association between 3 different sizes of gloves, and they were associated with 2 different departments, that is 6th floor and labor room. And coming to the Pareto chart, and we were able to rule out 61% of the total quantity of the gloves. They were mainly focused in these 4 departments: dialysis, labor room, 6th floor, and minor operation theater. Then when we do individual and moving range chart, IMR chart, then we clearly rule out 2 main areas, that is labor room and 6th floor. 4 areas were identified, and these 2 areas, labor room and 6th floor, the process flow was not under the control limits. Some of the values were above the control lines. So we thought of looking for some special cases, some special issues in these 2 departments. So we focused on these 2 departments, that is labor room and 6th floor. And coming to my CV variance percentage, this was mainly more on 6th floor and labor room. And coming to my improvement phase, so as I said, we were concluded with 4 departments, and out of 4, 2 departments were mainly found out, and out of the 2, we thought of implementing the improvement strategies in 1 department so that we can see the result. So we just considered 6th floor. We focused 6th floor, and the result was actually more than 50% of the unaccountability was reduced. And here we can see the 3 different sizes of gloves, especially related to the 6th floor. And from, if you see the average gap percentage, after implementing the accountability system, after implementing the system of having check sheet and all these things, we were able to reduce the unaccountable gloves, number of unaccountable gloves from 61% to 11%. This is a little huge improvement in the particular department. And coming to the control phase, the stability in the incidence of sterilized gloves through IMR, individual and moving range chart, has to be done. This is what our recommendation, and this is what we did for the particular department. And check sheet was introduced, a simple management tool through which we were able to reduce more than 50 to 80% of the unaccountability problem. This was really an impressive result. And inventory imbalance, that is gap ratio, has to be reduced by implementing this check sheet. And this is what we did on the particular floor. And lean practice, because in some of the departments, without the need, because there was no proper accountability, no proper inventory system, they were keep on getting the glouses, and just like that they were using, and they were not in the account. So things are being wasted. So we thought of implementing, highlighting the lean practice so that the waste can be reduced, and the dissemination, the financial benefit, if you see, even the from 83% of unaccountable gloves, it was reduced to 10%. So financially, if we see, the loss can be reduced from 85,646 rupees to 9,207 rupees per month. And this was a huge financial benefit in the particular process, that is gloves, reusable gloves circulation process. And corporate benefit, when the gap ratio is controlled, The total inventory accountability of the gloves will be improved, and the internal customers who are working in various departments, they are really satisfied. And the CSST, that is Central Sterilization Supply Department, they can maintain the record of sterilization process, which can be used for many purpose in the coming days. This is our control phase, and thanks for all your listening.
So I'm sure the people who are watching must be knowing that how much we can apply Lean and Six Sigma in healthcare. Many times when I approach the hospitals and healthcare industry, they say, well, is it applicable to healthcare? Is Lean Six Sigma only for manufacturing? Some people have a notion that Lean and Six Sigma is only for IT industry. Some people think that Lean and Six Sigma is only for banking industry. But here goes the proof that Lean Six Sigma is for everyone. And of course, you see 5 doctors from healthcare industry who are making their presentation. So please go ahead. I think I'll tell Animisha who's the next person.
I would now like to invite Mr. Albert Anand to show his presentation.
Very good evening to one and all present here. Thank you, Amitabh sir, and thank you, ma'am, Ms. Usha Rani, for your valuable time to spend with us. Once again, I thanks to Anaxa to give a wonderful platform for us to present our project. So my title of the project is Applying Lean Six Sigma Approach to Reduce the Patient Appointment Time and Optimize the Patient Experience in an Outpatient Physical Therapy Department. So in the title itself, I mentioned the 3 causes. The first one is waiting time. The other one is the patient flow. The next one is the patient experience. My background of the project, I got the email from hospital director. She mentioned there is a lot of complaint regarding our physical therapy outpatient waiting time, as well as there is some experienced issue with the patient experienced issue also there. Then we have to sort it out with a particular time. This is what she mentioned in the email. She gives some key points also in their mail, like an insurance mixed up approach, as well as patient priority matrix. This is the key word. I take it out at the time, and I was set the title for that project. So my aim of the project, reducing the waiting time and improve the patient flow with optimized patient experience. So whenever we are just go to the defined phase, as well as a clinical physiotherapist, whenever I check it out, at least the patient has to wait nearly 2 weeks to get the appointment for the first appointment after their insurance approach, because we have a high statistics number. We have so many orthopedic physician as well as neuro physician, cardiologists. So we are integrative multidisciplinary systems with the rehabilitation department. So what happened here, whenever the statistics is more, we can't properly flow the patients with our department. So whenever we are just observe it, there is some process issue with that. That's why I use the Lean Six Sigma approach to cut down that waste as well as to improve the process. So in the defined phase, what are all the things I'm using that? The flow chart. When the patient is entering into the hospital, how they are exit. The documents where they are all travel. Everything I map it out and I make it in the things. Then I set the project charter, then the SIPOC. In our SIPOC, the suppliers are our physicians, patient administrators, then the insurance coordinator, and everybody take it as a thing. And we are completely track the process with the SIPOC analysis. Then here I mentioned the SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis, why I was thinking about it, our capability, our resources are, whenever we are conducting the project, it will be without disturbing the environment or without disturbing the process, it will be work it out or not like that. So prior to the process, I just done with the SWOT analysis. Really well, we go on with that. Then we identified some critical to quality issues. Mostly the 4 causes are our critical to quality, like waiting time, patient experience, outpatient appointment reminder system. For example, whenever we are starting this process, before the project, the patient appointment all given by in a writing manner. For example, the manually printed card, they just mention the time and the date and they are given to the patient. There are so many bottlenecks there, and sometimes the patient missed the card or they forgot it and all. So this is one of the CTQs we identified. then the patient, physiotherapist workload. Some of the times due to this bottleneck process, the unscheduled patient and all coming to our clinic, and it will really disturb our scheduled patients. So these are all we identify as a CT2. Finally, in the define phase, we just plan for the dashboards. So in my measure phase, collected the baseline data as it is. I never disturb the process whenever I collecting the baseline data. How it is the process, I don't want to knowing them like we are going to collect the data. Just we are observed as it is. Then we are officially informed, and once we make the checklist for data collections and everything, we are officially moving with that. So the data was collected nearly 45 days and 250 samples in a different shifts and different time. We don't want to give any bias to the data, so that's why we're done with that. So you can see here some of my extraction method, how I was taking the data and all. The physiotherapy patient waiting time approval display will clearly show that insurance card wise categories, how many TICA patients, how many other card patients, or how many white card patients and all waiting like that. As well as I categorize with the male as well as female ratios. Then how many requests per day we received and how many requests we got approval. Everything displayed in a very transparent manner. It really helped us to improve the process. Then I extracted the questionnaire from the NHS. What are all the questionnaires will be suitable for us? That questionnaire we are extracted and we fixed with a 5-point scale. So in the measure phase, what are all the tools I'm using here? NHS patient questionnaire. Then we analyze with the simple P chart analysis. Then the waiting time we are plotted with the run chart. The 25 days data was plotted over there, and we are just came to know 13.5 days at least they have to wait for to get the first appointment. The thing is, even the post-operative patients, at least they have to wait for 1 week at least to get the first appointment. It's really frustrated. It will make the condition also more chronicity. These things and all we just considered, and we are going with it. So summary of in this phase, baseline data were collected and the sigma level calculated like 1.06. So the progress of the project communicated with the team and senior management team. Like we are frequently informed to the senior management team what we are doing and which phase we are running like that. In the analyze phase, the process analysis to identify the non-value added activities and the bottlenecks of the process are completely identified. So what we are done with the brainstorming sessions, we plotted with a cause and effect diagram what are all the causes. Totally, we identified 21 causes. In the brainstorming sessions, we identified 12 causes are highly impact with the disrupting the process, impact the process like that. So you can see here my cause and effect diagram, registrations, manpower and insurance and process. What are all the, for example, I can highlight some of the points. In the registration area, we are checking it out. There are so many duplication files. Even though the patient already got the appointment, or if their insurance card is expired, but still the list was in the registration department. So it really, again and again, it's give a rework and the rejections and the queries and all. So in this phase, we are used the tools like brainstorming session, finding value and non-value added process, then the cause and effect diagram, the Gemba investigation. This is what I want to tell you. Once we plotted that, we are introducing the Gemba. Myself as well as some of the quality expertise, we go to all the reception area as well as all the clinician area, how it was done. We came to know there are a lot of deviations with our process. Even some of the process are fragmented like other way. So we investigated, we documented it, and we are communicated with the department. Based on that, we are setting the action plans after the Gemba investigation. Nearly, we are identified 20 causes for the Gemba investigation. So we are seriously taking on it, and we are just fragment the causes and we are go with the action plan. So here, my summary, the team cut down the non-value added process. The team effectively used the outpatient appointment reminder system and intensively monitored the dashboard. In the analysis phase, we came to know really the appointment system is not working properly. For example, the manual handling, until unless we are not get the automated system, it would delay the process. So we identified that one and we are taking the action plans also. In the improve phase, whatever action plans we decided with the team and we are just discussed with our team members as well as the head of the department, we are introduced. The one main thing is the outpatient appointment reminder system. We just get the third party resource like a Teotempo appointment system. It's really work it out. Because whenever we give the appointment, the same time the SMS was delivered. After that, 24 hours before, then 1 hour before also it delivered. So our no-show rate is completely coming down after this introduction, after the introduction of the Teotempo system. So it will really helpful us to improve the patient flow as well as reduce the no-show rate, as well as we just came to know the patient experience also highly. So in this stage, again, we are using the questionnaires as well as some personalized data with the checklist. We again analyze with the simple percentage P charts as well as run chart, and the patient request and approvals, how they are received and how they are sending for the approval and all. So every processor make it as a micro process, and most of them converted into the soft copies. For example, whenever we are getting the patient list, I made the simple tool with the Excel sheets with the filter system. So if you want to know that how many Pika patients are waiting, means one simple click, they're giving now all the data. When is the near expiry and all. So it's really helpful for us to run forward the process. Then we are recommending the action plans to make it as a control plan. So in this phase, our summary is the team and identified the lean waste and eliminated from the process. And the recommendations are piloted and evaluated the risk and implemented, closely monitored by the team. And the data were collected again at the sigma level. In this phase, it's improved like 4. So I can show you here what are all the waste are we are identified. As per lean, they said to me 8 type of waste, we call it as a downtime. In the defects, we came to know there is a lot of rejection with the insurance as well as queries. So what we done with that, whenever we identify that, we just converted as a KPI. So what happened, if any query happened within 24 hours, the physiotherapist has to be replied. So this was eliminated. As well as missing and incomplete documentations from the physicians. So we are giving an intensive training for the physicians. What happened, the simple stamp or authorization form or assessment form, stamping and everything properly run out. So it is also reduced. Likewise, all the other ways like overproduction, the duty rota is not matched with the statistics of the patient. Sometimes the more physios working with the duty, but the patients will be less. So it's a cost for the company. Like that, every waste we are identified. One more thing I want to tell you here, the non-utilized talent. One of our patient administrators had a good statistical knowledge. He knows how to use that and how to use the software and all. So whenever we are gone for the Jamba investigation, I personally recommend to the management team. So he will become a statistician for the physiotherapy department. He is the whole authoritative by the dashboard displays and everything. So these are all the way we are identified. So 8 type of the waste, and we are improving the process. Then the control plan. After we are implementing the action plans, we want to standardize all the action plans. Once we standardize the action plans with the consent of the hospital director and the SMT team, we are introduced with our ground level. So the dashboards as well as whatever key point indicators we are introduced with our process, everything hand out to the head of the department. Their continuous monitoring is very, very essential to sustain the process capability. This is what we advise and we are informed to the team. We just make a control plan in a 3 category, like a physician, physiotherapist, patient administrators, like that. So whenever you are separated and fragment the process, we can transparently see all the deviation from the normal process. So it will really helpful for us, and we are go with the further level. Here, I want to end my presentation with a message by Steve Jobs. Customers don't measure you on how hard you tried. They measure you on what you delivered. It's 100% act for the healthcare professionals as well as the healthcare domain, because whatever the deviation from the process or how we are working on it, then never ever the patients care about it. What the quality of treatment you are just reaching them, that highly impact the patient experience. Thank you so much once again for the ANAXA to give a wonderful opportunity for us.
Thank you, Albert. And I liked the last quote and also the downtime. As usual, as I have been saying since the beginning of this Quality Talks episode, that we can apply Lean Six Sigma to healthcare. And here was the proof, some of the people from healthcare industry making a presentation. So you can unshare your screen and we can have Yeah, so very quickly, first of all, I would like to thank everyone for making a great presentation. And before I invite Ms. Usha Rani to talk about what were her impressions, and before we listen to her, maybe some of you can share your experiences, and especially Dr. Arun and others also, like Dr. Mohil, if you would like to say a few lines, 1 or 2 lines. What were your basic learnings? What exactly you would like to give a message to fellow green belts and black belts? So many green belts and black belts are watching. Many potential green belts and black belts are watching. And let me tell you, everyone can become a green belt or a black belt. It's not that if you need to have a statistical background, you need to have some technical background. Everyone, each one of us, there is a green belt in each one of us. So on that note, I think Dr. Arun, would you like to say some things? Maybe.
Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
very
so-
happy to share with you the experience, what I got in the black belt as well as master black belt. I can recollect my memories, because I think in 2016 January, we attended black belt with you in King Fahd Hospital. You trained us both green belt and black belt. To be frank with you, I was trained as a black belt from Indian Statistical Institute in the year 2007. After that, almost a decade, I got an opportunity to attend again the black belt with you. There is a big transformation after 10 years of period. There's a big transformation. You taught something is a practical approach. Your practical approach of concising the information and provide to all the healthcare people is amazing, to be frank with you. Even the break time, I ask you, the examples you provided with regard to the application of Six Sigma methodology, it is redefined my thinking, to be frank with you, redefined the thinking. And after 2016, we almost done 4 improvement projects. Every year one project we did, all our Six Sigma, DMAC and DFSS approach. It's a long-term thinking with you. I need to do master black belt with you because of the time I could not able to approach you. But thanks to this curfew, thanks to this pandemic situation, we're all at home in Saudi Arabia. So it's an opportunity for me to again contact you, get all the inputs from you again as a master black belt. With regard to the master black belt, again, it's a great transformation of leadership skills you taught us. And in addition to that, the project guidance, as you shared with them, one of the article, we are struggling for a good reviewer, to be frank with you. In our journal, that was the longest journal, 23 months it was in review. You are the reviewer, Finally, we gave your name because they don't know the project is so complex. They ask us, please suggest a reviewer because we need a right reviewer to give an input. Really speaking, you improvise the article, the great improvisation. You are a great mentor, great teacher, to be frank with you. Now, we learned a lot from you, and I hope your vision of incorporating this kind of training to the student level is the most innovative approach. I see the student level you are incorporating. Even I'm telling my students here, it's a great experience with you, sir. You are a great transformation leader. It's a great experience with you.
Thanks a lot. In fact, a teacher can be great only if the students are great.
Yes.
When we have students like you, of course. As I kept telling, that we have to apply whatever we learn. It is of no use if you just read and study, and if you don't apply, that knowledge is of no use, either to you or to the society. So unless you are able to apply, and one of the things I was telling one person another day, that you can go to online trainings, you can read the Lean Six Sigma methodologies from the book, but unless you hear from the persons who have really applied this, you are not going to understand the subject really well. And that's what I keep doing in the sessions, as well as right now, I'm bringing people like you who have done the projects and who are really doing a marvelous job. And especially at this point of time, very much thanks to all the healthcare workers and healthcare providers. And on top of it, if you're improving the healthcare services, wow, that's the icing on the cake. So good. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And I would like to invite Ms. Usha Rani to say a few words.
First of all, thank you, Amitabh sir, for providing this opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah.
And all the speakers, you were like amazing, I must say. And I must congratulate each project has done really a good job, a marvelous job. And bringing quality in healthcare and bringing the behavioral change among the healthcare professional is the toughest task. That I'm telling you with my own experience. And I really love the projects because some of the projects were the one where I am doing my PhD. And I'm just in the verge of submission of my thesis. So especially related to healthcare associated infections, ventilator associated pneumonia. When I applied the tools, I got trained by sir 2 years back. So that time I was wondering why I didn't meet sir before. I would have implemented those tools already in my protocol. So, but yes, it's a really thanks to you, sir. I also learned a lot with this presentation, reducing the pharmacy waiting time. I am going to give such topics to my students too. Really good job. And we never thought of the gloves usage, that accountability, you can apply a Lean Six Sigma. Great learning from this presentation. And yes, physical education department, the tool which you have used, Gemba Walk or Gemba Intervention, which was the one which I learned from one of the US faculty, which is very rarely used in other nations. I must congratulate you, have taken a very good tool, the Gemba Walk, and it adds value to the process and the system and brings down a lot of waste into the processes. So I'm impressed. I have no words to congratulate, especially to the leadership, the mentor like Amitabh sir, and all the projects. It's really good. And I must say, all the people who have not taken Lean Six Sigma till now in healthcare sector, please take it. If you are going to be the leader tomorrow in healthcare provider, in healthcare sector, this is the thing, you should go for it. There is no doubt about it. So that's a comment from my side, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And we can say in anticipation, Dr. Usha Rani, and that too, if you have done some applications in healthcare and some lean statistics, statistical tools and techniques. In fact, I can say that we have also a little bit of वो कहते हैं कि हक होता है तो हम एक हक है कि आपको हम डॉक्टर बुला सकते हैं. So now the screens. So just imagine as if these awards are being given to you, Dr. Usha Rani. And
yeah, congratulations, Dr. Albert Anand. I can see your award on screen.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I couldn't be able to on my camera. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
See, you cannot
on your camera now if you want. Next, Dr. Albert, you would like to say something?
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Amitabh sir. Really, it was a wonderful experience. Really, after a long time, we refresh ourselves as well as we never forget. And thanks a lot. We are becoming alumni with the Annexas. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome. We have next certificate.
Yeah, Dr. Arun Vijay.
Yes.
Congratulations a lot, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
And we have got next certificate as Dr. Raji.
Dr. Raji, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Both
sir.
the projects, both the projects are very close to my heart because I've done on neonatology. So I've tried to bring down the HAI rates in neonatology.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Next one is Dr. Mohil Shaktivel.
Dr. Mohil, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank
a lot
you,
of
ma'am.
learning from your project.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And we have, we have Dr. Shiv Sankar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Dr.
So,
Shiv Sankar,
so
congratulations.
all of you can switch on your videos and we'll just try to capture a picture of those who can switch on the videos, of course. And I will just very quickly capture a picture of all of us. So with that, I would like to say goodbye and thanks a lot to all of you who have joined us. And thanks a lot once again to Dr. Usha Rani and other Master Black Belts. And henceforth, you can call yourself as Master Black Belts. This was
Thank you.
also the, of course, your evaluation, everything was over, but this was more like a ceremony, the graduation ceremony. And just to all the viewers who are watching now or who will watch, because most of our viewers, they watch later on. And when someone doubts that, oh, Lean Six Sigma, it's for manufacturing, it is for maybe IT industry, we can show, with your permission, this link that here are 5 doctors talking about how Lean Six Sigma can be applicable to healthcare industry. So thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
all.
ma'am. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
And we are especially
Thank you,
thanking our teacher, Gopi.
Okay.
Gopi.
Yes, sir. He recollect. He is amazing. To be frank with you,
Yes.
he recollect the memories.
Yes.
He taught us the statistical technique. It's the right to acknowledge here. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
See you. Bye.